Hey guys, Cody Sharp here. I'm owner at Sharp Guys Web Design. Today I'm not talking websites, I'm talking about AI. So I've spent a couple of hundred hours with it. Different types of AI models, language models, image models, video models, music models, trying all types of different things out over the last couple of months. We've used one of the language models out there called Jasper. It used to be called Jarvis. For about a year and a half, and then about 2 or 3 months ago, I signed up for ChatGPT 4, and I've been using that. Early on, it was 3.5, and now it's 4. If you don't know much about these different language models, I want to talk to you about the number one thing I like to use it for. So if I was starting out now, not like 12 years on from starting my business, if I was starting out now, and I'm a solo entrepreneur or solopreneur, if you want to call it that, the number one thing you can offer is perspective, a different perspective than my own. And the thing it's so good at is words, right? And language. And the number one thing you're doing constantly when you're a solopreneur, trying to figure it out, starting an agency, starting a company, especially on the marketing driven side that I came from, or even in sales, like what's your sales messaging, all those types of things. The number one thing you need a lot of times is an outsider's perspective. So it's good to, meet up with, mentors, and it's good to meet up with fellow business owners. And I certainly still recommend doing that. You can get a lot of good advice that way. But if you don't have the time to meet with people, or if they don't have the time to meet with you, you don't have a large network, AI and these language models can be a tremendous asset for you, and you can start doing it at any time of day. So it doesn't have to be on anyone's schedule. So imagine instead of going into a proposal with just your initial proposal to a customer, you feed in the pain points that you found during your sales process. You feed in kind of your solution, and you ask it, am I hitting all the points in my proposal that's going to help this person solve this problem? If you do that, you're much more likely to have some insight that you may not have thought of. It's like having an outsider's perspective, right? Just like it would be if you went and spoke to somebody that had a lot of practice, and it may be garbage. Maybe the outsider's perspective is complete garbage, but maybe it's really insightful. Maybe there's something there that you hadn't considered, or there's just an extra bullet point, or there's like another thing you could have done. And then the other thing is, what about the process itself? What about process improvement? This is the process that I go through. Is there any other steps that I can take in order to be more impactful? I mean, look at what you're dealing with here is a language model that's sucked up trillions of pages of content, right? It's got PDFs, it's got books, it's got, who knows what. There's so much advice inside of all of it. And it's really good at collating it and coming up with something that makes sense. Now, you're going to find things that don't make any sense too, right? And anytime you say, hey, what price point should I put this at? Or like, what's a good price point for my marketplace? It's not going to be a good fit for that. That's something that's still a better fit for fellow agency owners, fellow business owners that are in your market. Go and talk to them in real life. That's what I highly recommend. But for, process improvement, it's incredible. I'm thinking about offering a new service line. Here's my current services, and this is the marketplace I'm in. Can you see any other services that are a good fit? What other additional items can I talk about when I talk about this new service offering? Can you help me come up with a list of names for this service offering that will be helpful from a search engine perspective? Can you help me find ways of better marketing this using traditional marketing? How about social marketing? All those types of things. Getting that additional voice when you are all alone, that's so incredibly helpful. And so if you're not using it for that, maybe think of some ways where you can. So ChatGPT is $20 a month right now. It's the best value that you can think of. It's like when YouTube TV came out and all of a sudden it was $35 and it blew all the other streaming services away. Now it's up to like $80. I assume the same thing will happen to ChatGPT in the future, is that people will use it to such benefit that, it'll just increase in value and increase in cost. I don't know. But I would recommend, buying that up. It's $20. Now I have access to the add-ons, and basically these add-ons are progressively coming out. One of the limitations of ChatGPT is that its information is only complete up until September of 2021. Now, for the majority of businesses, it doesn't matter anyway. We're not talking about give me your exact, all my competitors in this marketplace place and find out all of their business flaws. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, here's my process. Here's the email I'm thinking about sending this person. Is this good? What does this make me sound like? Who are these people? This is the person I'm sending it to. This is their previous email to me. Based on their email to me, is this the right reaction? Those types of things. Again, it's just another voice to get out there. If you're wondering, like, how can you use AI in your business besides some of these kinds of very just narrow use cases, reach out. I'm happy to talk to you about any of this type of stuff. I'm not an expert. I don't even know that there are experts. Like I said, I've spent hundreds of hours doing this. I enjoy it because it's new technology and I'm a learner and I love doing that type of thing. But I'm no, guru or anything like that. I'm using it in a few different areas tactically in my company. And I'm also just trying to think, if I was this first time business owner and if I was starting out, what would be the most important part of AI? And it's not just that it can create a few articles for me. It's that it gives me a completely different perspective on things, and I can ask it to give me all kinds of perspectives. You're an angry old person. Give me a perspective. You are, you're a young couple that just got married. Give me your perspective on my pitch, right? So you can just tell it, this is my persona. Give me your perspective. This is the persona. Give me your perspective. You see what I mean? There's a lot of capabilities here, and it really is it's worthwhile to just run it through and see what it goes with. Couple things. So I mentioned ChatGPT, $20 a month. There's free ones out there too. Bing actually has incorporated ChatGPT into its chatbot, and you can just use that by using Microsoft Edge and going to Bing. On the right side over there, you'll see like a B, and that'll have the chatbot incorporated for free. So you can try that out. It has some different limitations, but it also has some different benefits. I mentioned that September 2021 timeline that ChatGPT, which is owned by a company called OpenAI, by the way. I mentioned that there are less limitations on the Bing implementation because it actually uses search data to respond to you. So it's a little bit different implementation. And then you've got Google. They've got a couple of different betas out for chatbots. And so you may try with that. Google Bart is the one that they have currently out. Yesterday they came out, or 2 days ago, they came out with another beta version that they're going to be releasing called Palm 2. And that's going to be more of a direct competitor to ChatGPT. But we'll see this stuff kind of like ramp up, and it's going to be a part of everyone's world. And I would just advise, you don't have to be an expert on computers to use this stuff. This stuff is actually fairly simple. It's more like, you ever look back at some of these old Star Trek shows, and they would say, computer, do something that's really awesome. And then it would figure out like 3 or 4 different things. That's how it is. Search is going to be something, it's going to report back what someone else has already written. This is going to create materials that have never necessarily been written all in one place in a consistent way. Can't always trust it to be true, but you can get a different perspective, just like any person you're talking about. Trust it like you would any other person that you don't know that well, but that knows a lot. They may just not know that much about your specific industry. Good perspective getter. So, all right. Thanks, guys.